Chalo. So generally when you just look at the body, whatever you see from outside, you call it as surface anatomy. So in the surface anatomy, we know in the midline we have sternum, which has further subdivisions like manubrium, body and xiphoid process. Then on right and left side, we have two clavicles, isn't it? In the front of the thorax, just below the skin, we have the superficial fascia, deep fascia. Once you cut that, you will find pectoralis major muscle, minor muscle, below which you will see intercostal muscles, right? This area, what he has shown us is axilla region, right? And beta, this is below clavicle, you call it as infraclavicular fossa, this region, infraclavicular fossa. And this round contour of the shoulder is produced by deltoid. So this all comes under surface anatomy. Yesterday, 9 regions we have seen, and above the umbilicus, we have used the word epigastric region. This was left hypochondric and this is right hypochondric region. Okay, that is the surface anatomy. As you move stepwise, once you remove the skin, you will come across this muscle. I think thorax, this till this extent you have done because it was included in upper limb, no? Pectoralis
Yes, ma'am.
major you have seen, deltoid you have seen.
Yes, ma'am.
Then this is mid axillary plane. You are finding this is anterior axillary line, posterior axillary line. Okay. So now you are finding, as the pictures are showing us, inside the thoracic cage, we have two lungs covered by pleura. We have visceral pleura inside, parietal pleura outside. Between that, between the parietal and visceral pleurae, we have the pleural cavity filled with pleural fluid. And this space is quite big. You call it as costodiaphragmatic recess. Okay, and this is costomediastinal recess. Okay, then. So when you see the osteology, this is like sternum, ribs and vertebral column we have. Okay, just to get an idea, like this is manubrium, body and the xiphoid process, and you are finding 12 pairs of ribs. Anteriorly, they are attached to the sternum. Posteriorly, they are attached to the vertebral column. Okay, so osteology we will do later. Anyhow, for tomorrow's thing, you have thorax, visceral organs, right? Shavi? Thorax, abdomen and systemic
Yes,
histology.
ma'am.
Hema, you are in which batch? B batch?
Same, I'm in her batch only.
अच्छा दोनों का सेम है अच्छा है ओके सो this we will do osteology later but I will more focus on soft parts because tomorrow when you go and see you should be able to understand okay. Now see here. After removal of pectoralis major and minor, now when you go to the cadaver will be in this state. Exactly, it will be seen like this. That means what? You are finding between, this is the intercostal space, which is bounded by lower border of the rib above, upper border of the rib below. Medially, you have the lateral border of the sternum. Behind, we have the lateral borders of the vertebral column. Now, when you see, we have three muscles, no? The first muscle you can see, as though I told many times, like as though you are inserting hands in the pockets of apron. This muscle is first muscle, that is external intercostal muscle. Anteriorly, the muscle will be absent because it is replaced by external intercostal membrane. You will find muscle fibers more towards the lateral aspect. Just tomorrow when you go, you observe. आगे नहीं है बेटा. Laterally and posterior aspect, you will find the muscle more. Anteriorly, you have only membrane. Once you cut this membrane, anterior intercostal membrane, external intercostal membrane, underlying that you will find second muscle. What is this? Internal intercostal muscle. Okay. Then deeper inside, you will have transversus thoracis. Okay. So first is external intercostal, second is internal intercostal, and then third one is transversus thoracis. Okay. So these are the muscles we have in the thoracic cage. When you go tomorrow, just try to observe this. It has further three subdivisions. No beta, like it has like what are the small components? It has sternocostalis, no, from the sternum to the costal cartilage. Okay. So intercostalis intimus, that is the smallest part. It runs in the same direction of internal intercostal muscle and it will be lying just below the internal intercostal. You will find intercostalis intimus. And deeper inside, we also find in the lateral two-thirds subcostal muscles. Subcostal muscles. Okay. Then diaphragm also you will see tomorrow. Try to observe this better. Once the rib cage is cut and if it is removed, you will be seeing this partition. In the dissected cadavers, if they keep also, try to observe this diaphragm. I discussed already origin insertion many times. Okay, just open this atlas and try to check the origin insertion. Sternal fibers, costal fibers, lumbar fibers, all these fibers will go towards the center. They get inserted into the central tendon of diaphragm. IOA 8 and 12 are the major openings, right? This is the central tendon. Many times we have discussed the openings, no? I is inferior vena cava, O is esophagus, and A is abdominal aorta. See, this is how thoracic cage looks once the heart and lungs are removed. That means, what is the area behind the heart called as? What is the area between?
Pericardium.
Yes, beta.
Pericardium.
What is the no, beta? I'm giving you one more hint. What is the area behind the sternum and in front of the vertebral column called as?
Uh,
Ritika, loudly.
Mediastinum.
Mediastinum. Very good. Mediastinum. So mediastinum has basically two subdivisions: superior mediastinum and inferior mediastinum. Inferior mediastinum has further three subdivisions: anterior, middle, and posterior. After you remove everything, that means you have removed heart, you have removed lungs, you are finding the posterior rib cage. No? Is the posterior wall of the rib cage what you are seeing, and whatever structures we find here, these are the structures of posterior mediastinum. They will pakka keep this better. So many cadavers are like this. So check for this abdominal aorta, sorry, thoracic aorta, arch of aorta, thoracic aorta piercing the diaphragm and continuing as abdominal aorta. Okay, check for the blood vessels. On the right side, we have brachiocephalic trunk dividing into right common carotid and right subclavian. On left side, we have left common carotid directly and also left subclavian coming directly from arch of aorta. Then these are two brachiocephalic veins. Right and left brachiocephalic veins will drain into superior vena cava. Try to check for these nerves. These are the phrenic nerves, okay, which are going and supplying the diaphragm. Then you are finding there is one unpaired venous system, no? You call it as azygous system of veins. Try to check this azygous system of veins, hemiazygous and azygous system. In each space, you will find vein structures better, vein, artery, and nerve. Try to check this tomorrow. Okay. This is the superior aspect of diaphragm. Once you remove, the lung is resting here. Okay. So right lung is resting here, left lung is resting here. This area is for heart. Okay. Diaphragmatic surface of the heart is resting here. So now you are finding three openings, no, major openings. You are finding inferior vena cava opening, esophageal opening, aortic opening. Okay, these are all nerves. Superior surface, the distribution of the phrenic nerves you are finding, and these are superior phrenic arteries which are supplying the diaphragm from superior aspect. This is from inferior aspect. This is like an umbrella, dome-shaped structure is diaphragm. This is from abdominal aspect you are seeing. That's the reason you are finding thoracic vertebrae. Okay, you can see how this aorta is piercing the diaphragm and entering into the abdomen. Okay, these are our abdominal muscles which we have named yesterday, if you remember. Skin, superficial fatty layer, deep membranous layer, external oblique, internal oblique, transversus abdominis, below which you will have fascia transversalis. Then we will go to the peritoneum, parietal and visceral layers of peritoneum, visceral organs. Okay, just a minute. Okay, beta. So this is about diaphragm. Just observe diaphragm tomorrow when you go. An important thing is when you cut the rib cage and see from inside, you will see the artery is running like this. What is the name of this artery which is running like this, coming from subclavian? Internal thoracic artery, also called as internal mammary artery. If you remember this internal thoracic artery, it gives like intercostal arteries, no? In each space it gives two anterior intercostal arteries, right? In the sixth intercostal space, it divides into two. That is, one is laterally musculophrenic and medially superior epigastric. Isn't it? This is the azygous system of veins which you will see in the posterior wall of the thorax beta. Try to observe this. At least you should be able to name them. Anyhow, when you study theory thoroughly, at the end of the year, definitely after 1 or 2 months, when you are going for your final exam, you will be thorough with all this. And during practicals, all these things will become easy for you. For now, you just try to get oriented like where structures are located in the body. Okay? All these are not required. This is what I wanted to tell you. Like, this artery is quite important. This is internal thoracic or internal mammary artery. Sixth space, it divides into musculophrenic and superior epigastric. Superior epigastric is entering into rectus sheath, where we have rectus abdominis muscle. It anastomoses with inferior epigastric artery within the rectus sheath. So if you observe in each space, we have costal groove, no? In the lower, towards the lower border, there is a costal groove where we have van structures, no? Tomorrow you try to observe van structures also in the cadaver. They will be seen. You just cut the muscles for yourself and then you will definitely observe three structures: vein, artery and nerve. Okay, that will be the arrangement. Okay, vein, artery, intercostal artery and intercostal nerve. Mammary gland, we have, you have already seen you were when you were doing upper limb. Okay, now, as soon as the rib cage is opened, see how the rib cage is opened. One cut is given at the manubriosternal joint. Mid-axillary plane, all ribs are cut. Okay, and you have just, and lower down also the rib cage is cut and it is just removed like a dome, and it is like a cap. It was like a cap, and the rib cage is now kept aside. So now you are exploring the thorax. Once you remove this rib cage, you will see two lungs, and in between heart. Lungs are covered with pleura, heart is covered with pericardium. Okay, of course, thymus, unless it is a body belonging to a small baby of around 7 to 10 years, we don't see thymus. Okay, so this is again diaphragm. These are the phrenic vessels we have. Vagus also we have here. These are the blood vessels supplying the heart. Those are coronary artery. So I was talking about mediastinum, right? What did I say? Area behind the sternum, in front of the vertebral column. Whatever is there, you call it as mediastinum. Just try to revise these labelings better. Just a small break. So I hope you have gone through this, Hema. Just behind the sternum, whatever area is there, and in front of the vertebral column, this whole area is called as mediastinum. So from sternal angle, if you just draw one line, imaginary line, which is moving from the sternal angle to the lower border of the fourth vertebra, T4, thoracic vertebra, the area above this plane is, this yellow in color is superior mediastinum. That means this is the line of partition beta, which has started from sternal angle to the thoracic vertebra. Okay, above this line is superior mediastinum, below this imaginary line is inferior mediastinum. So now inferior mediastinum is further subdivided into three subdivisions. Behind the sternum, you have anterior mediastinum. In the middle, we have middle mediastinum, where you have heart. Behind the heart, whatever blue area is shown, that is posterior mediastinum. That's what I was telling you. Just check for the descending thoracic aorta, posterior rib cage, whatever structures you see there, this is the blue area. Those are the contents of posterior mediastinum. Anterior mediastinum will not have anything, only loose-areolar tissue and sternopericardial ligaments. Middle mediastinum will have heart enclosed in pericardium. Superior mediastinum will contain great vessels coming from the heart. Okay, that means you have ascending aorta, you have all these structures coming from arch of aorta. Okay, superior vena cava, vagus nerve, all those structures what you see in the entering from the neck to the thorax, they are included in superior mediastinum. Okay, see, this is posterior mediastinum. Everything is removed. You are not finding heart, you are not finding lungs. So these are the structures of posterior mediastinum. arch of aorta, descending thoracic aorta, esophagus, bifurcation of trachea. Okay, and these are posterior intercostal arteries which are coming from the descending thoracic aorta. Correspondingly, we also have intercostal veins. Those are nothing but they form azygous system of veins which are not shown here. But as we proceed, definitely diagrams will be there. See, these intercostal veins, they will be draining into azygous, hemiazygous and accessory hemiazygous, right? So this is azygous system of veins corresponding to the intercostal arteries. This is the partition, thorax, diaphragm. This is all azygous system of veins. Read theory once, you will understand. I'm only concentrating on the practical aspects what you will see tomorrow. This specimen will be definitely kept. So try to observe this bluish vein, that is azygous system of veins. Apart from that, there may be a whitish duct. In the cadaver, it is not green in color. It is usually white. May be seen or may not be seen because it is very thin beaded. Unless somebody comes and shows you, it's not possible. You can call one of your teacher to help you out with this. This is thoracic duct, which has actually entered into the aortic opening. Then moving towards the left side and then entering into the subclavian at the junction of brachiocephalic and subclavian, left side. Okay. We also find right and left phrenic, right and left vagus, sympathetic chain, van structures. Okay. Coastal groove at the lower border, you have to check for van structures. Okay. See here, true mediastinum is shown, but actually, please go through or you can take a screenshot of this. Everything is given. Contents of mediastinum: superior, anterior, middle and posterior. Okay, what are the organs? Just look at this and you are shown all, like, see, this is tracheal, this is sagittal section, no? Manubrium, body, xiphoid process. This is a retrosternal space where you have the anterior mediastinum. Medial mediastinum has heart and pericardium. Posterior mediastinum, here you are finding esophagus. Trachea will bifurcate into right and left principal bronchi. Okay. So now once you see that, if they break the thoracic cage and show the structures in situ, then you will see this better, heart enclosed in pericardium. Okay. So that is, this is the posterior view behind each other. You're finding esophagus, descending thoracic aorta, tracheobronchial tree, how it is branching. Okay, pulmonary veins. Again, these are all posterior mediastinal structures only. And these are the posterior structures. Okay. This is diaphragm. This is sagittal section, beta, side view, right lateral view, parasagittal section. One is from right side and the other is from left side. This view is taken from left side. Okay. Left side we have descending thoracic aorta. Now all these only will form impressions on the left lung. Descending thoracic aorta, left atrium, left ventricle, left phrenic, left vagus, like that. Now, once you see this is heart, right? You have cut the pericardium. You should cut it like this, like cross symbol, plus symbol, and you just remove it 3 or 4 flaps. Once you remove the flaps of pericardium, you will be seeing the heart. See, the margins of pericardium are exposed here. When you remove the pericardium, you will see the heart. This is the apex of the heart. This is the base of the heart. Okay, this is right border, left border, inferior border. Right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. Atrioventricular sulcus, anterior interventricular sulcus. Right auricle, left auricle. From the right ventricle, you have pulmonary trunk. From the left ventricle, we have aorta coming. Into the right atrium, superior vena cava is opening. How is it formed? Right and left brachiocephalic veins are joining, you can see, and draining into superior vena cava. Lower down into the right atrium, you will also see inferior vena cava will be piercing. From this picture, you can also see 2 lungs. They are enclosed in the pleura. This will be the parietal pleura outside. Closely investing the lung will be the visceral pleura, and of course, this empty space is the pleural cavity filled with pleural fluid. The recess you find at this point where I am showing you the pointer is costomediastinal recess, and lower down you have costodiaphragmatic recess. Okay, beta. See, now you are after cutting the pericardium, you are lifting the heart. Why are you lifting? You want to separate the heart and keep it in the tray as a part of dissection. You have to cut all great vessels. Cut the arch of aorta along with subclavian artery, brachiocephalic trunks, common carotids. Okay? See that pulmonary trunk is retained, pulmonary veins are retained, so that when you remove heart, you should be able to appreciate what each chamber is connected to, which blood vessel. When you cut all these, this is all pericardium only. Behind you will see sinuses of pericardium. See, now heart has been removed. Successfully you have cut pulmonary trunk. Successfully you have cut aorta. You have cut the four set of pulmonary veins, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava. When you cut all these connections, heart comes in your hand, you just keep in the tray. Okay, once you keep the heart aside, then you will see this pericardium behind. Okay, so this pericardium will have certain folds which we have already studied in theory classes. So this is transverse sinus and this is oblique sinus. Try to read the boundaries in theory. I'm only concentrating on practicals. Now see, there is a window made in the posterior layer of pericardium, right? Why? To show the structures of posterior mediastinum. That means once you cut the pericardium completely from posterior aspect also, you will see like esophagus, descending thoracic aorta, okay, vagus, phrenic nerves, so many structures. Now this is heart, this is how it looks. Still the pericardial covering is there. Till here it will be having, it is all covered by pericardium. Okay. So what surface is this? Sternocostal surface. The borders are, it has upper border, right border, left border, inferior border. The upper border is formed by right atrium. From here till here is right ventricle. Then this is left auricle and a part of left ventricle. This is right border which is formed by superior vena cava, right atrium and inferior vena cava. This is inferior border. Major contribution, 3/4 contribution comes from the right ventricle. A part of its contribution is coming from left ventricle. Okay, between the right atrium and right ventricle, this is atrioventricular sulcus. Between the right ventricle and left ventricle, this is anterior interventricular sulcus. Okay, beta? Then,
Mm.
now this is the apex of the heart. Okay, where do you check for the apex beat? The fifth
Fifth
intercostal
intercostal
space,
space medial to the
in the
mid
mid
axillary line.
clavicular line. Okay, so this is which surface?
Hermit clavicular.
Sternocostal surface. Okay, when you see
Mm.
from the anterior aspect, then this is the posterior surface. Now here you will see left atrium more clearly. Four set of veins are opening, two superior pulmonary veins and two inferior, two right and two left. Okay, beta. Then right atrium is still clearly visible with two superior and inferior vena cava openings. This big venous channel of the heart is coronary sinus. Okay, so posterior surface, this is the right atrium, correspondingly right ventricle. Left atrium, correspondingly left ventricle. Behind this is posterior interventricular sulcus, where you have posterior interventricular vessels. No,
Mm.
the surface
Right
where
coronary artery.
the surface which was resting on the diaphragm, you have seen better when I have shown you diaphragm superior
Diaphragmatic.
aspect. So this area is actually resting on the diaphragm. You call it as diaphragmatic surface. Okay. So
Mm.
these are the interiors. Definitely interior of the first, you just check the opening of the right atrium, which is very, very important. So you have inflowing part and this is the outflowing part. Inflowing part, you can see it is quite rough. I told you theory so many times. This is crista terminalis. Outside you have sulcus terminalis. Inside we have crista terminalis. These are all musculi pectinate. Okay, but see, this is the left atrium and this chamber is right atrium. Between them, you have interatrial septum, where you have fossa ovalis, margins is limbus fossa ovalis, inferior vena cava opening is showing valve, eustachian valve, coronary sinus also shows opening, Fabacean valve or valve of coronary sinus. Okay. Now, at this right atrium opening into right ventricle, you are seeing the entry point of the AV valves, that is tricuspid valve. So, this is all ring you have. Here, right ventricle has been cut to show you. This inflowing part is quite rough. You are finding three cusps, anterior, posterior, and septal cusps. These are all strings. These are all chordae tendineae, which are attached to papillary muscles. Inflowing part is showing all these rough areas, and this is the outflowing part, which is quite smooth, which is conus arteriosus. Rough and smooth parts are separated by supraventricular crest. Okay. So this is the interior of right atrium. This is the interior of right ventricle. Take the help of atlas. Tomorrow, do not go to dissection hall without atlas. It's better don't go to dissection if you are not carrying your own atlas. That is very, very important if you want to learn something. Don't depend upon anyone. You learn on your own. Put your self efforts. That's what I have been always telling you. Okay, better. Now see here. This is the opened up right ventricle. In the right ventricle, we will have, is it right or left? Okay, this is again left atrium and this is left ventricle. Yeah. Left ventricle, how many cusps? Mitral valve, we have only two cusps. That's why you are finding two cusps, ring, again chordae tendineae and papillary muscles. Okay, beta? And left atrium inside it will be completely smooth because it has only all four pulmonary veins opening. Okay, which will be very smooth, and these are all valves which are shown here. By